Hello, everyone, and welcome to the announcement and draft recap of your Boston Red Sky. Yes, I said that right. We have rebranded. Your Amethyst Excelgors have now turned into the Boston Red Sky from this moment in time for this league and hopefully for the rest of the leagues in the future. I may bring back the Amethyst Excelgors, but for right now, we are the Boston Red Sky, and this is our MLBA announcement and draft recap video. So the MLBA is the Major League Bachelorettes Association, and this is an incredible league with a lot of incredible battlers and drafters. There are a lot of really big names in this tournament, or not. This isn't a tournament. In this league, there have been a lot of great names that have moved on from this league. You've heard of Ultra Player, Aaron 2420 is in the league right now. Sock is in the league right now. Spextar, I know you've heard me talk about him in the past, is in this league. The commissioner of this league is Hat. If you've been around the GBA Discord at all, you've definitely seen him there. And there's just a lot of really great names, a lot more than I can just go into right now. Those are just a few right off the top of my head that I'm naming. So this is the Boston Red Sky's intro. So first thing I want to go over is you have in the draft, you have 120 points to draft, which is an incredibly high amount. You can draft anywhere between 8 and 12 Pokemon, and you get 50 points for Z-Mons, and that is crazy. I can kind of explain why with my team, why it's crazy to have 50 points for Z Pokemon. But on top of that, this league allows a lot of things that arguably should be banned. So I'm going to go over them just kind of quickly over here in the prices. Deoxys Normal, Marshadow, and Reshiram are all 33 points right off the bat. What switches into those? Nothing really. There's Mega Blaziken, Genesect, Mega Metagross, Protein Greninja. There's Battle Bond Greninja. There's Deoxys Speed. A bunch of just broken Pokemon. So, what did we draft? So, I will hop right on to Showdown. We will add a new team. So, this is the MLBA draft. So, first off, I dropped to Ubers just to, build the suspense. So, our first pick, I think we picked 11th, so not a great draft position at all, but I think we picked up a very, very good team, and a team that we can work very well with. So, first and foremost, first pick overall was Mega Blaziken. Very deserving of the pick. Then, I believe Reshiram went, or Reshiram was right up there. And Reshiram is scary, and spoilers, we face Reshiram week 1, so you'll have to see what we got for that. So, when our pick comes around, I have settled on Aegislash. So, I wanted Aegislash because it is a great Pokemon. And it was picked right before me, so I don't get Aegislash. So, I was still stuck on, hey, I need to make sure I have a good Steel type. Hey, Magearna is still sitting right there. So we pick Magearna. And we pick up Magearna for 25 points. So, Magearna, what can I say about Magearna? It is absurdly good in the league format to the point where it shouldn't be allowed. I mean, in this type of format, with all of the other threats, it should be allowed. But it is so incredibly good, and it's versatile. I can run Shift Gear. I could run a physical Shift Gear set, possibly with Brick Break. I could run just Iron Head Shift Gear and have 2 special coverage moves to take advantage of Soul Heart. I haven't talked about Soul Heart. So whenever something dies when Magearna is out there, Soul Heart gives it a +1 stat boost in special attack, which is fantastic, especially if I can just get a kill or if I want to start setting up some hazards and I get some hazard kills with Magearna out there. Incredible Pokemon. It makes sacking a Pokemon off in the face of a Magearna almost impossible, which is amazing. So, immediately, when I got Magearna, when I drafted Magearna, I knew I needed not just a support Pokemon to support it, but a Pokemon that could shine right next to it. So, when my pick came back around, Mew was still available for 17 points. Not only do I think 17 points is a little low for Mew, I think Mew should be about 18 points, because Mew is an incredible Pokemon. I have never used it in draft. I've used Magearna. Magearna was allowed in one league that I was in, and it was incredible. We won that championship. I didn't upload it, but we won the championship with Magearna. I know how to use Magearna. I can use Magearna. Mew I've never used before, and I've seen a lot of people force it into defensive roles, and I think I built a team that doesn't force it into a defensive role. I think I have a team that's very well built. And you'll see more of the team in a bit. But Synchronize is a great ability. It can run just about any item. Mewlium Z is banned, so I will spoil this. Mew is not one of our Z Pokemon. I wish it could have been because of all the coverage moves it gets. And it's just such an incredible Pokemon. It's a great Stealth Rocker. It can U-turn, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and literally learn just about every move in the game. So Mew is such a great Pokemon. I think it complements Magearna really well because Mew is weak to Ghost, Dark, and Bug. And Magearna can take those hits very, very easily, especially because of its bulk. It has base 115 defense and special defense with 80 HP. It's a very, very bulky Pokemon. Mew can take the ground type attacks that Magearna doesn't want to take. It can take the fire type attacks Magearna doesn't want to take. It can take the hits. It doesn't resist them, but it can take them. And I can EV my Mew specifically to take hits from certain threats that Magearna cannot take on. And that is very useful. So picks go all the way up and come all the way back down. And I wanted a dragon to fill out a Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Magearna. So I grabbed a Mega, and I grabbed Mega Charizard X. So if you've seen any of my BTR Season 5 draft video, not just the draft analysis, but any of the battles that went along with it, I know I didn't fully upload throughout that league, but I had Mega Charizard X, and I love Mega Charizard X. It can run physical, it can run special if you really want it to. It does share a speed tier with Mew that I do not like. Also, it was 18 points, but it can Dragon Dance. It can be bulky. You can run sub-Toxic Roost with one move because Fire is such a spammable move. It's really only walled by bulky water types. And what really likes bulky water types is Magearna, because bulky water types wear you down with possibly Scald and possibly Toxic. And Magearna can set up all over that. I can run Thunderbolt. I can run anything to take advantage of those bulky water types. And I do have something else later on in the draft that really takes advantage of bulky water types incredibly well. And even bulky water types don't like Mega Charizard X because of a move called Thunder Punch, which is Tough Claws boosted, which can obliterate a lot of bulky waters, especially after a Dragon Dance, possibly even a Swords Dance if I want to. So Mega Charizard X is fantastic. It's a fantastic Pokemon, and I love this Pokemon. So next, picks go back down, and they come back up to me, and I realize that there is a 12-point Pokemon left on the board that really, really, really is going to complement both Magearna and Mega Charizard X incredibly well, and that is Dugtrio. Now, Dugtrio is allowed with Arena Trap. It was 12 points, and let me talk about this for a moment. So, Dugtrio hits hard because of its base 100 attack stat. Decently hard, I should say. It's very fast with a base 120 speed, so it fills out a much higher speed tier that I did need. But it traps in the fire types that Magearna doesn't beat, and the steel types Magearna really doesn't like to face, and it traps in any rock type that rock or ground type that wants to come in on either Magearna or the Charizard X. So this Pokemon is going to be, I think it's going to be really pivotal in the success of my setup Pokemon being, or at least the start of my setup Pokemon being Charizard and Magearna. And even if they don't set up, it can really break a wall through my opponent's team where they don't want it. If they haven't prepped for Dugtrio with a proper Shed Shell or anything like that, then they're not going to be able to beat Dugtrio, and they're not going to be able to have that wall for my team that they're going to need. So, Dugtrio, incredible. Basically just going to run Earthquake, but it also gets Memento, which is really important. So, next Pokemon I end up picking, I went with Umbreon. And I went with Umbreon because I needed a Wish Passer, and Umbreon is probably my favorite Wish Passer in the format, or one of, next to Sylveon, and I love the evolutions. Umbreon is incredible because of its pure Dark typing, makes it very, very, very bulky to anything that Mew can't beat. So, Dark type is specifically weak to Bug, which shares the type of the weakness with Mew, but Charizard X and Magearna both take care of that really well. It's weak to fighting. Mew pairs up with that perfectly, and it's really not weak to much else. So it's weak to Fairy, but I have Magearna. What Fairy wants to stay in on a Magearna or can beat a Magearna for that matter? So it really pairs in well with the rest of my team. And it pairs in well to be able to pass the biggest of wishes to Charizard, Mew, and Magearna. Magearna loves taking wishes, and it kind of takes Heal Bell support off of Mew. It takes it off of Magearna because they both can run Heal Bell. It's just such a great support Pokemon for this team. And the thing is, a lot of people think Umbreon could be setup fodder, but Umbreon gets foul play. It gets taunt, so it doesn't get set up on. Or if you start setting up on it, you're risking foul play, or you're risking getting toxic. Umbreon is an incredible Pokemon. I love this Pokemon so much. So, next Pokemon that we draft. We're starting to run low on points because our first 5 picks have accumulated, let's see, 30, 55, a lot. So 55 plus 28 is 83. So we've accumulated 83 out of our 120 points. So we need to start cutting that down a bit. We need to start going lower into the picks. And I see a Pokemon for 6 points that shouldn't be there and gives me another Rock Setter to take Rock support, to take Rock's pressure off of Dugtrio and Mew, and that is, cannot spell, Aerodactyl. Regular Aerodactyl. Regular Aerodactyl is a very, very good Pokemon. It is very, very physically offensive. It breaks the 120 speed tier that I set with Dugtrio, and it is very, very awkwardly supportive because it gets Stealth Rocks, it gets Roost, it can Roar, it can Taunt. It's very, very niche, and I think it fits this team really well, especially if I want to make it as a setup sweeper, as opposed to someone thinking Charizard might be the setup sweeper for the match. I could run a bulky Charizard and start wearing things down with Toxics or with Will-O-Wisps, and Aerodactyl can come in, set up a Hone Claws, outspeed everything because it's base 130 speed, and just wipe through a team. And it was only 6 points, which I thought was an incredible, incredible steal. So, after that, I ended up going back to somewhat of a higher point pick, but right now, if you look at my team, my defoggers are Mew and Aerodactyl, and I don't want to be forced to run Mew as bulky defog every single week, and I don't want to be forced to bring Aerodactyl with defog every week to support my Charizard being quad weak to rocks before it Mega Evolves. So, I picked up Silvally. Silvally was 10 points, and I picked it because it not only does it get defog, but I get access to every typing. It's base 95 across the board, which is phenomenal. It's basically slightly worse than Mew, but gets access to every type of stab in multi-attack with the RKS system and the memory that I want. And I can basically use this as a kind of the glue to my team. If I find something I can't wall because of possibly typing, I can bring whatever type I need on the Silvally and wall it. I may not be able to really roost up, or not even roost up, I can't heal myself, but I can get wishes from Umbreon into this, which is just a very, very great opportunity hopefully for Silvally to shine. It gets Parting Shot, which is a great move. I love that move. I love Parting Shot because it switches you out, gets you momentum, and lowers the opponent's attack stat at both attack stats, and could allow for something to either set up, or it could allow for you to just continue to wall something down. Parting Shot is great also for Dugtrio to come in and trap, which is perfect, and you'll see that I start to kind of build up something of a Volt Switch turn, Volt turn core, because I have Magearna with Volt Switch, I have Mew that can U-turn and Volt Switch, I can Baton Pass with Umbreon, I can Parting Shot with Silvally, and one of my last few picks is actually can run Volt Switch as well. So, next Pokemon I end up picking, I don't know why I got rid of that, but I picked up Goldfish. I picked up Goldfish mainly because Water's Poison typing is very, very good. It can get rid of Toxic Spikes, can be an incredibly bulky water, loves receiving wishes from Umbreon, and can set up both Spikes and Toxic Spikes. So I can set up Spikes, and I can set up Toxic Spikes, which is perfect, which is really what I need for this team. Destiny Bond is great. I could run a Swords Dance Aquajet sweeping set. Intimidate is an incredible ability. It allows you to be incredibly physically bulky, even though it doesn't have the best stats. And it's a very, very good Pokemon. And it was only 6 points. It was the same amount of points as Aerodactyl. But I thought that Aerodactyl should have been priced higher, but I think they both fit very specific roles on this team that make them really, can make them really shine. So, next, I grab my last Volt Switch Pokemon, and I grab a Rotom form, and I grab Rotom Fan. Rotom Fan is the discount Zapdos. It was 3 points, as opposed to Zapdos being like 14 or 15. And if you've seen my videos at all, you know I love Zapdos. Zapdos is my favorite Draft League Pokemon, or the widely accepted Draft League Pokemon. And I think Zapdos is incredible, and I think Rotom Fan is decent. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's going to lead the league in kills. It's not going to be the best defensive Pokemon, but it's going to work. It gets Defog, it gets Volt Switch, it gets a very good dual stab in Electric and Flying. It has Levitate, so I'm double immune to ground type attacks. I'm only weak to, I believe, Rock, and nothing really can one-shot a Rotom Fan that doesn't want to be trapped in by Dugtrio or that can't be beaten by the rest of my team. So I think Rotom Fan is going to be a very good addition to the team, especially for only 3 points. So now, jumping into my last 2 picks. So I pick up 2 more Pokemon with the 12 points that I have remaining. So I had the option of picking either a 12-point Pokemon. I could have just picked a 12-point Pokemon and moved on and only had, I believe it's 10 Pokemon, but I wanted 11. And I didn't want 11 for the sake of having 11. I wanted 11 because there was a Pokemon that was only 11 points that I really, really, really needed, and that was Breloom. So I really needed Breloom because I didn't have a Grass type, I didn't have a Fighting type, I didn't have that great of priority, and it hits like a truck. Technician Mach Punch from base 130 physical attack is incredible. And if you look at my team, I have a lot of physical attackers. I have Aerodactyl, I have Mega Charizard X, I have Breloom, I have Dugtrio. Silvally can be physical or special. Mew can be physical if you want it to be. But I have Magearna. I have Magearna and I have Mew, which forces my opponents every single week to bring something especially bulky. So that's going to allow my physical threats to really shine. And the physical threats, my opponents are going to be forced to bring physically defensive Pokemon, so my special threats are going to be able to shine. And it's going to be a very good season so far. Breloom was 11 points, and Breloom I've been wanting to use so badly. I have been wanting to use it for a while. I think it's great. It was priced, I think, perfectly. It was a little low on the price range for me in the sense of where I thought it should have been. A lot of times I see Breloom, at least in tiered systems, I see it in Tier 2. It fluctuates between Tier 2 and Tier 3, but I see Cobalion also fluctuating between Tier 2 and Tier 3. Cobalion was my other option for this pick. Cobalion was 12 points. But I see Cobalion priced in Tier 3 a lot, and I see Breloom priced in Tier 2 a lot, so I thought 11 points for Breloom was a very good deal, and it allowed me to basically get a really good Spore Pokemon, a really great priority. I have a slight speed tier problem, but it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about that as much because I do have great priority, and I do think I can mitigate it with a lot of unique spreads. So, what is my last Pokemon? So, I have every form of Entry Hazard. I have 3 Stealth Rock setters. I have 1 Spike setter and 1 Toxic Spike setter, both in the same Pokemon being Quillfish. I have great defoggers being Mew, Aerodactyl, Silvally, and Rotom Fan. I have a lot of momentum. So what do I need? I grabbed Webs. I grabbed Swadloon. So basically, I'm going to be running Eviolite every week. I'm probably going to be running Overcoat. Doesn't really matter too much. Who knows? I don't know how much Swadloon's really going to come, but Swadloon is actually really good. It's really, really bulky. 90 base defense, 80 base special defense with the Eviolite is incredibly high. I could basically just run 248 HP, and the defenses with the Eviolite are already up there. So I could run an Iron Defense set. Iron Defense raises its physical defense through the roof. I could max out its special defense. I could run an Agility set. It gets Baton Pass, so I could run that to get momentum. I could run a dual screen set. It gets synthesis, so it does get recovery. So it's a really good lower tier Pokemon that gets recovery. But most importantly, it gets sticky webs, and sticky webs are very important to kind of mitigating my weird speed tiers, and that's going to be very useful. So Swadloon can run sticky webs, which is perfect for the team. Makes it a great support Pokemon. It does not get aromatherapy, so not really great there, but I think it's going to work. I want to bring it to at least 2 matches throughout the season. That's my goal, to bring Swadloon to at least 2 matches. And we'll see where we go from there. And that was the end. That was the last pick. And here I will go over Z Pokemon really quickly. I went with Z Swadloon because I had 1 point left over at the end. And why not? Because, hey, who wants to run a funky Swadloon set? I do. That could be fun. I could run a Swords Dance one, right? It gets that. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's unfortunate. But whatever. I can figure something out. My other ones are Quillfish. I grabbed Quillfish as a Z Pokemon because if I want to, I could run a Swords Dance Z Quillfish. Z Liquidation could be very nice. Z Poison Jab. It can hit on the special side if I needed to. So Z Shadow Ball, Z Signal Beam. Who knows? I could also run Z Pain Split. I believe that. I don't know what that does actually. Never mind. Not going to run that. Whatever. If I figure out what it does and it works out, I will run it. The rest of my Pokemon, I forgot I got rid of them from here. So my other Z Pokemon, I have Aerodactyl. I have Aerodactyl as a Z Pokemon. I have Dugtrio as a Z Pokemon, which I think was the best one out of all of them because it makes it very, very difficult to zap for the Dugtrio. Yes! Dugtrio is a Z Pokemon. And lastly, if you followed the points, to fill out that 50 points, I have Magearna as my last Z Pokemon, which is perfect. It was half of my total Z points, but it is worth it. Z Magearna is incredible, and that's kind of the bread and butter. I'm going to be able to run a offensive Trick Room Magearna if I want to. I can run a lot of different sets, especially with Z moves, and just nuke some teams. So I do want to say thank you for everyone joining me here. If you watched the video to the end, I want to say thank you. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe if you really want to. I do put out content very often now. I'd like to try and get it to about 1 a day, at least of Draft League content. Maybe I'd be talking about different topics. Maybe I'll get a face cam in there. Who knows? Look forward to that. But thank you so much for joining me in the MLBA draft analysis video and our kind of introduction into the league. So hopefully we can come out at least with a positive differential. That's my goal, because there are so many huge threats that I'm just going to have to awkwardly wall, and I'm planning on having fun. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think my team is very fun. I think my team is going to be built around getting a lot of momentum, pulling some double switches, getting Dugtrio in there, and Magearna sweeping, hopefully. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to sharing every match with you throughout this season, and I look forward to talking with you along the way. So for everyone that's joined me, thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.